What's going on, Canes fans? Welcome to another Final Thoughts video. This one's going to be kind of interesting because your boy Coop is still not super confident in this game, but I'm not super confident like one way or the other, right? Like I'm not confident coming on here and saying, yo, I think NC State beats us in this one. But I'm also not confident in saying, hey, I think Miami can get a dub at Carter Finley Stadium. I truly, it's a little more than 24 hours before kickoff. I truly still don't know how to feel about this game. Literally 1 minute, I will be like, you know what? Miami's going to handle business in this one for this reason and that reason. And then an hour from then, I'll be like, wait a minute. But NC State has this and this and this. And we'll talk about it a little bit here in this video. So welcome to the Final Thoughts video for this week. If you're new here, this is a real like kind of cozy, chill vibe. I post these 24 to 48 hours before kickoff of the game. And it's my literal last opportunity to change my mind on some things, be open and real and honest, a day before kickoff, kind of how I'm feeling about everything. And originally when this game opened up, I think they had Miami as around a 3.5 point favorite. That line has now moved to 5.5. So it's not changed a lot, but there is some confidence in Miami to win this game for a couple of different reasons. But I do want to lay out some reasons why I would be worried in this one still for Miami. And right out of the gate, it's got to be our pass offense versus their defense. Our passing game has not been nearly as potent as it was at the beginning of the season for whatever reason that may be. I think it's kind of a combination of Tyler Van Dyke and his injuries. And, Dawson hasn't been as aggressive. He's been a little more timid, I guess, with his play calling. But again, is that Tyler kind of holding him back? Is it just, him evolving as an offensive coordinator here at Miami and trying to focus more on the ground and pound? What exactly is it, right? And this scares me a bit because NC State runs a very aggressive 3-3-5 defense, and I'm really worried about Tyler and his accuracy and his timing in this game. And it puts us in a tough position because their defense plays downhill against the run, and we all know that as much as we've been able to run the ball, we're not very explosive when running the ball. It's more of a we chip away at you, 3-4 yards at a time throughout the game. And then in the fourth quarter, we kind of lean on it because your D-line is tired against our O-line. But I would not say that it's explosive. And coming into this game, NC State is holding their opponents to around 109 yards rushing, which grades out as the 10th best run defense in the country according to Pro Football Focus. So my worry here, all right, just hear me out for a second. What concerns me is if Miami can't run the ball. If we can't run the ball on Saturday night and it forces us to be in a situation where we have to rely on our passing game, if Tyler Van Dyke comes out and plays the way that he's been playing, we're probably in trouble. Can we be honest, right? Like we have to have a mixture of both. It has to be a little more balanced for us because the more we're putting that ball in the air, the higher chance there is that it's getting intercepted. Let's just be real. And even if, let's back up and say it's a game time decision and Tyler Van Dyke doesn't start and it's Emory. Well, again, then you're throwing in the freshman quarterback who, yes, he beat Clemson, but this is going to be a hostile environment in enemy territory. And NC State's defense is no joke. I'm not coming on here and going to pretend like they have the number one defense in the country, but they don't play around. They have a lot of veterans on that side of the ball. They got linebackers and corners, multiple guys that have several picks so far this season. So it is something that's scary to go up against for this Miami Hurricanes offense with the way that they've been playing over the last few weeks. Now, It is also interesting because their quarterback situation is one where they dropped the veteran quarterback, Brandon Armstrong, and replaced him with the sophomore, MJ Morris, who really, let's be honest here, has not been anything spectacular. He's been okay. It's a situation where, we talked about as Miami fans benching Tyler and playing Emery or Jakari or whoever side you're on and like riding it out with them. Riding the highs and the lows, knowing there's going to be some bumps and things in the road. That's kind of what they did with MJ Morris. So they're riding it out with him. And this provides some big-time opportunities for Miami in this game because as much as I talk about NC State's defense, this whole game's going to be a defensive battle. I would be very surprised if that's not what it is. I think that this defense, especially the D-line, can rattle MJ Morris very early, and I think that he struggles in this game. I really do, which is why it is imperative that Miami comes out and scores early. I think if we can jump out to a lead, let's go up like 10-0, 14-3, something like that early in the game, and then just kind of grind it out defensively the rest of the game. I do think that Miami can be okay, but Miami does need to start fast in this one. I don't want to be playing from behind. I don't want to put our offense in a position to where we're trying to air it out to catch up because then I think we make some crucial mistakes. I think you see multiple interceptions at that point, and it could potentially even become ugly. I hope not, but it could. And I think either way, you probably see multiple interceptions this game. I think you see some big mistakes from MJ Morris. I think you see some interceptions on their side of the ball on defense either way against our offense the way they've been playing. But let's also talk about, being in that hostile environment. Carter Finley Stadium in Raleigh, North Carolina, right? I don't think it's going to be as bad as Wolfpack fans are trying to tell me. I really don't. I mean, can they be kind of, rabid, crazy fans, in Raleigh? Maybe. I don't think it's going to be as crazy as they say, though. Now, I would maybe be a little bit more worried about the weather. It doesn't look like there's any chance of rain, but at kickoff, it's going to be in the low 50s, maybe upper 40s. And look, that's not cold. I'm really, when I make jokes about weather, I'm really only worried if it's like close to freezing, if we're talking like 32 and below, because then you get some of them Florida boys are going to be a little bit shocked, right? That is cold. But, upper 40s, 50s, that's going to be perfect for the guys in the trenches, the O-line and D-line guys, and big boys, So they're probably going to love that weather. So I'm not too worried about it. Could it impact it slightly? Maybe. Maybe it could. It is interesting because both teams are kind of coming off of some highs of some big-time wins. I mean, Miami beat Clemson. NC State beat Clemson. Now, the interesting thing, NC State took them out without having to go to double overtime. Now, luckily, that doesn't mean that they beat us because they beat Clemson more easily than we did. Like, it's not how it works. And I understand it sounds silly to even bring that up, but there are a lot of people out there that say, well, because you struggled with this team more and they didn't, that means they're going to beat you. Luckily, that's not how things work. But I am worried about this game. I won't lie. There's also the aspect of looking ahead to Florida State. That big game is looming over us, and that's going to be another road game at Doak, and it might even be a night game as well. And there is the chance that we get caught looking ahead to that one, but we can't afford that. We're sitting at 6-2 right now. NC State is 5-3. We cannot look ahead to that Florida State game because chances are, this is final thoughts, couch Coop confessions here. The reality is we're probably not winning that Florida State game anyways. This game, we definitely need to win. So we can't afford to drop this one, then turn around and also drop the Florida State game and lose 2 in a row. That would be very, very bad for the season for multiple reasons. But I am standing by my score prediction. No changes this week. 24-20. As I said, I think it's a close game, a defensive battle. Miami must score early. We have to shut down their wide receiver, Kevin Concepcion. And our quarterback, whoever is out there, must play well. I know that I keep putting it on the quarterback's shoulders, but I think defense can handle business. Defense can and will keep us in this game. The issue is, can the offense score some points? Can we see an explosive run or two? Something that we've really not seen this season. Is whoever's back there at quarterback, probably Tyler Van Dyke. Can we get away with 0 picks or maybe only 1 pick in this game? Can we stop putting our defense in such bad situations? We don't need to have them bailing us out the entire game and then being tired in the fourth. Win the time of possession battle, score early, and put ourselves in a really good position here early in this game on the road, because this is a dangerous game. This is such a dangerous game. And your boy Coop is not confident at all. I'm going to run my mouth, and I'm going to talk trash because we're the fans. We're not playing the game. I'm here to have fun. I want to enjoy myself and, go back and forth with the banter, because the reality is we don't know what's actually going to happen yet. The game hasn't been played. But I'm not super duper confident. No, I'm not. But if I'm an NC State fan, I'm also not super duper confident. And some of the confidence I see spewing out of these NC State fans is actually quite surprising. I talked to a few that were a little more level-headed that have picked Miami to win. But some of these State fans, man, I'm seeing like 34 to 14. 31-6. Like, where have they watched this Miami team? I'm not saying that we're a top 10 team in the country, or we're putting up big numbers across the board, but do they know who they're playing on Saturday? I don't know, man. I think that MJ Morris is gonna learn a lot about Mr. Reuben Hurricane Bain. Right, Canes fans? I think he's going to be flat on his back a lot in this game. So, really, again, I think Miami does get the win. I think we have to escape with the win out of Raleigh, but that's okay. That's okay. That would improve us to 7-2. That's already 2 more wins than we had last season, with still 3 more games to go after this one. I mean, that a win here would be huge. It would be absolutely huge. And I do think that Miami can and will get it. But, boy, it's going to be ugly at times, and it's going to be very scary. Probably going into the fourth quarter. It's going to be a nail-biter, I think. I really do believe that it will. And here's the thing. If this comes down to a kicking battle, they are pretty confident in their kicker too. Now, we got our guy, Andy Borregales, right? The man with the stash. We trust that guy. And he's hit some crucial kicks for us this season. But they trust in their kicker too. If I had to put money on it, though, I'm taking Andy all day, every day. But just keep that in mind. They are capable in that department. And this is also a game where, speaking of Andy, we need to be sending it into the end zone on kickoffs, because they have a guy back there that can take it to the house. So they definitely have some threats. So, Andy, I need you sending them in this game on kickoff, please. Let me know your final thoughts in this one. I've kind of spoke my last little bit of piece here, my biggest concerns, my worries going into this game, but it's not all bad. Miami does have some things going for us, and, if I could see a couple of explosive runs, I would be so happy. I'd be really, really happy to see that. And then we just got to take care of business, man, and let's not look ahead. Miami gets the dub 24-20. Let's go, man. Nighttime game, hostile environment, lower temps. Let's take care of business. Let's do it. Let me know what you guys think, all right? Don't be shy. Comment below. Last chance to say I told you so. Hey, come on, man. Let's go, Canes.